Hello my dear friends, and welcome to my channel. My name is Barbara, and today we're going to be looking at ways you can make money based on your second house. Now keep in mind, there are many ways that you guys can look at your natal chart and to see how you guys can make money. This is one of the ways. Also keep in mind, if you guys do have any planets in there, it's going to add a different layer to the story. And if you are looking at the Placidus system and you don't have anything in the second house, it may be intercepted. So in that case, if you guys don't know what intercepted signs, houses, and planets are, you guys can check out my video on that if you want to learn more. So let's go ahead and start with Aries. So for those of you who do have Aries in the second house, a few ways that you guys can make money can be through the self. It can be through your personality, through your identity, through who you are as a person. It can also be through your physical appearance. Now, Aries does deal with the physicality of things in general. So it can be things like sports. It can be things like physical exercise. Maybe things like personal training, dancing, being a dance instructor, Pilates. Very much Aries in the second house energy. Now, on top of all of that, in terms of physicality, you guys can have a very physical job. So it can be things like working in a factory, maybe working in construction where you're using your physical body to actually bring through money. Now, also, Aries is the starter of the zodiac. It's that first house energy. So you guys can be very good at initiating things, and this could be a way that you guys bring through abundance. So it could be things like starting a new project, starting a business. These could be a few ways that you guys bring through that money. It's that entrepreneurial spirit. It can also be things like being a manager. It's that number one energy, where it's like you guys want to be number one, you guys want to be the best. So these are a few ways that Aries in the second house can manifest. If you have Taurus in the second house, for you guys, it's going to be all things luxurious. Taurus does deal with the luxuries in life, sometimes even food. It can deal with indulgence and all these types of things. So because of all of these things, you guys are probably going to find yourselves either in luxurious fields, things like maybe selling high-end real estate to clients. This could be very much Taurus in the second house. Now keep in mind, when you guys do have this placement, it's kind of like anytime you guys make money, you're going to attract more of that money. It's that money placement. Taurus is already all about money. It's also all about personal finances. So you guys are probably going to be really good at things like investments, learning about investments, maybe crypto, the stock market. When you have Taurus in that second house, you guys are going to love money. That's the thing. So you guys are always going to find ways to magnetize these experiences towards you. Now keep in mind, Taurus also does deal with building. So anytime you guys are building towards something, building your empire, building your legacy, this could really bring through abundance. So these are a few ways that you guys can make money if you have Taurus in the second house. If you have Gemini in the second house, for you guys, ways that you guys can make money can be anything to do with the written or the spoken word. This can be on such a huge range. It can be actually writing, and it can be actually speaking. Maybe writing shorter stories, I find most of the time with the Gemini energy, or even poetry, or even things like tweets. Maybe working for a company and working in their communication section could be something that you guys are really interested in. Things like marketing could be something that you guys are interested in, or even working with companies in general to create logos for them, and even slogans like the one-liners, because you guys have that intellect. You guys are very witty. So you guys are very good at conveying a large message in a shorter form. So that's really that Gemini in the second house energy. Now, a few other ways can be through networking, through the people you guys know, through connections. A lot of the time I find that Gemini energy overall does magnetize experience toward themselves through other people. So it can be through your connections, going to networking events, meeting a lot of people, or even just calling someone up, or even just seeing a posting online from like a person that you guys know, and this person is looking for someone to hire, and boom, you guys get your opportunity. A few other ways that you guys can bring through money can be through short distance trips. So maybe going on business trips, or even those people who have like blogs about like, you know, places to go eat in the city, or like fun things to do in the city. Very much that Gemini in the second house energy. You guys go experience those things, write about it, post about it, make a video about it, and then other people can go explore those places as well. One final thing that I do want to mention, if you do have Gemini in the second house, is that you guys can also make money either with your siblings, through your siblings, in the sense where it's like maybe they connect you with another person, or maybe you guys work together, or maybe they have their own company and they offer you guys a job. It can be things like this. So these are a few ways that you guys can make money if you have Gemini in the second house. If you have Cancer in the second house, a few ways that you guys can make money are going to be through Cancerian-like things. So it can be things like real estate. It can be things like even working from home. It can be things like working on other people's homes, things like interior design. Kind of depends on the rest of your natal chart. In terms of interior design, maybe you guys have a little bit more Libra placements in there. Interior design can be something you guys are interested in. It could be things like cooking, maybe working at a restaurant, maybe doing, those videos where people are cooking at home and then they post them and then they post their recipes. Very much Cancer in the second house energy, because it's like you're doing cooking, You get to be at home and now you're sharing it with people and you're attracting abundance to you. So this can be another way that you guys make money. Also, that Cancerian energy is very much nurturing. So you guys might find yourselves in roles like this. Things like nursing, things like being an early childhood educator, things like being a midwife, maybe helping pregnant women, maybe being a surrogate yourself for other people. This could be another way that this energy can manifest. So these are a few ways that you can make money if you have Cancer in the second house. If you have Leo in the second house, a few ways that you guys can make money can be through anything that is creative. So it can be things like acting, theater, being on a stage of some sort. As long as you guys are getting that attention, you guys are going to be bringing through that abundance. Now, this can be on such a huge range. It can even be videos like this where you create a stage for yourself. Now, it can be things like entrepreneurial things, because Leo also a lot of the time can be very much leadership energy as well. So as long as you guys are above people in one way, shape, or form, putting on a performance, making people laugh, or it's like you guys are giving a presentation of some sort. Maybe you guys have your own company and you guys are talking about it and it's like you have that pride, you know, because it's like, this is my company and I'm teaching other people about it. Speaking of teaching, you guys can also be very good teachers, especially working with children, because a lot of the time that Leo energy does deal with the inner child. So this could be something that you guys do to bring through that abundance. It could be anything like entertaining children. I don't know why I'm seeing a Barney costume right now, but things like this where it's like maybe you guys are a mascot, even at a football game, you guys are dancing, or just in general. Maybe you guys don't have a costume on. Maybe you guys are just dancing in general during a halftime show or whatever it is. Like things like this where it's like, again, people are watching you, you are being seen. That's going to be really important for you guys, especially in terms of abundance. So if you do have maybe trouble with being seen, or maybe you're a little bit more on the shy side, maybe it's going to be a good idea to get comfortable with it, because again, that Leo in the second house wants to be seen. So you guys want to express this in however this might manifest for you, as long as it's creativity in one way, shape, or form, especially in tune with that inner child. You guys are going to attract that abundance to you. Now, another thing that you guys can do also, because Leo does deal with love, dating, and relationships, I can see this manifesting as things like podcasts where you guys are talking about love and dating and relationships and you have guests on your show, these types of things. So these are a few ways that this energy can manifest if you do have Leo in the second house. If you have Virgo in the second house, a few ways that you guys can bring through abundance and make money can be through Virgo-like things. So anything to do with health, healing, and being of service. You guys might be interested in being in these fields, working as a nurse, as a doctor, as a dentist, or if it's more alternative, it can be things like Reiki practitioner. It can be things even like massage therapist, physiotherapist. It could even be things like being a veterinarian, working with animals. Also, Virgo is all about attention to detail. So any job that requires you either to have attention to detail, or maybe you went to school where you needed a lot of focus and a lot of patience to get that degree, like doctors, for example, right? Or even engineers. You can be interested in these things as well, because it's like, it takes a lot of focus. You need to have a lot of detail, especially with engineers, right? Because it's like, they're the ones who build the buildings and build the bridges and all these sorts of things. You obviously don't want to have a mistake anywhere in the calculations when you're creating those things. So these could be a few ways that you guys bring through abundance. Now, another way this energy can manifest can be through things like being a film critic, because sometimes Virgo does deal with that criticism energy, and it's like, I find a lot of the time Virgo does perfect whatever craft they do pick. So if you guys do perfect this area, and then you guys are then looking at other people's films they made and all these sorts of things, you're going to notice things that maybe other people don't notice. So you guys could be a very good film critic. Same thing, bouncing off of that idea of like the film industry. Maybe you guys are going to be interested in editing videos. That takes a lot of time, patience, and attention to detail, all these sorts of things. So it's like you're taking the skill that you guys have and you can really apply it anywhere when you do have Virgo in that second house. All you guys really have to do is become good at something, and you guys become the best at it. You guys could even be like the employee of the month a lot of the times, or like the best employee on the team, and your managers love you, because again, Virgos are very, very competent in whatever role or industry that they are in. So it's really up to you guys to see how this energy can manifest, but these are a few ways that you guys can make money if you do have Virgo in that second house. If you have Libra in the second house, a few ways that you guys can bring through abundance and make money can be through Libra-like things. So it could be anything to do with beauty. It can be the beauty industry. It can be makeup. It can be fashion. It can be interior design. The possibilities are really endless. As long as you guys are beautifying something, maybe even styling. It can even be things like staging homes for sales. This can be another thing that you guys do to bring through that abundance. Now, a few other things that Libra can do, because you guys do deal with that justice system. You guys can be a lawyer. You guys can work in the field of law in one way, shape, or form. Maybe be a law clerk. Maybe be a judge. You guys can maybe even be like a divorce lawyer, because Libra does deal with contracts. So divorce is a separation. It's a breaking off of a contract. Even be a lawyer for businesses, because once again, there's a business contracts energy going on in there. You guys can also be like a marriage counselor, or anything where you guys are negotiating and mediating two sides. Now, that being said, you guys are probably going to be very good with business as well, because again, negotiating. Let's say you guys work with a group of people. Maybe you guys are going to be the ones who are negotiating all the deals. Libra's got that charming energy going on, so you guys might know what to say to get what you want out of your clients for a business deal. So these are a few ways that this energy can manifest if you do have Libra in the second house. If you have Scorpio in the second house, a few ways that you guys can make money can be on such a huge range. Scorpio loves money. Taurus and Scorpio, it's the money access. So because you guys love money, you're always going to find ways of making money, even if it might not be in the most, what's the word that I'm looking for? I guess of socially approved types of ways. It could be things like fast money. This is what I'm really trying to get at. So, I mean, I'm not suggesting anything out here, but it's very Scorpionic like to try to get fast money. So you guys can fall into things of this sort. I'm not going to list all of them. I'm sure you guys can catch my drift with that one, but Scorpio is really on such a huge range. It can deal with other people's money. So it can be things like being a financial advisor, working for other people, working in asset management, really dealing with other people's finances. It could even be things like you receive an inheritance and now you're dealing with that money, maybe investing it and figuring out ways to invest it. Because again, Scorpio wants that money and they want the fast money because they know they can. That's the thing, you're working with the energy of money. For you guys, money is an energy and you guys know that you can get it fast. That's why a lot of the times you guys might fall into fast ways of creating money. Now, Scorpio also does deal with taxes. So it can be things like being an accountant. This could be a way that you guys bring through money. It could be things like working as a financial advisor, working as an investment advisor. It could be things like being a sex therapist, anything of this sort, or talking about these taboo topics, bringing them to the surface. That's very Scorpionic like. It can also be things like astrology or just the occult in general, working with it, being an astrologer, speaking about these topics, getting into esoterica. Like really, Scorpio is on such a huge range. As long as you guys are passionate about making money, you guys will make more of it. That's for sure. But sometimes, again, be wary because especially maybe in the earlier part of your life, if you're unaware, you might fall into fast ways of making money. So you guys might get sucked into pyramid schemes or someone sells you guys a dream. Now, Scorpio can also deal with death. So you guys might be interested in being a mortician or like the makeup artist for the people who have crossed over, or even a medium. This could be a huge thing that happens as well because you guys are super intuitive, or just working with the metaphysical plane in general. So these are just a few ways that the Scorpio in the second house person can make money. If you have Sagittarius in the second house, a few ways that you guys can make money, well, there's going to be a lot of ways. Now, if you guys don't have any negative planets in here or any sort of restriction energy happening in here in your second house or any negative aspects aspecting this particular house, then you guys are going to be very lucky when it comes to money. It's an expansive energy when you have Sagittarius in here. Sagittarius is always going to work in your favor. So you guys might get jobs really fast, or it's like you guys might not even be looking for a job and it falls into your lap, like things like this. You guys are always going to have that flow coming through. Now keep in mind, this is only if you don't have any of these negative aspects aspecting this particular house. But this is really what's going on. It's going to expand this area. Now, a few ways that you guys can make money could be anything to do with Sagittarian-like things. So the higher mind depends. If you guys do these traditional routes, maybe you guys become a professor and you're teaching something in terms of whatever your craft is. It can be this, or it can be a more non-traditional route. Maybe you guys go off and experience something and create some sort of belief system, and now you guys come back and teach it. That's very much that Sagittarian energy. They are all about the philosophies in life. So you guys are going to be interested in all these sorts of topics, maybe being a philosopher of some sort, maybe interested in history and just working in these fields. Also, Sagittarius can deal with travel. It deals with that freedom energy. So you guys might be interested in things like entrepreneurship. You guys might be interested in things like having maybe a travel blog, anything that allows you guys to move around and be free. That's the thing with that Sagittarian energy. You guys are going to want to find a way to bring through abundance where it's like, it's kind of incorporated into your lifestyle. It's like a travel blog, for example, as I mentioned. I mean, it could be so many different things, but these are a few ways that this energy can manifest. Now, another way this energy can also manifest is maybe learning about religions and teaching this in one way, shape, or form. I mean, this can be on such a huge scale as well, but these are a few ways that you guys can make money if you do have Sagittarius in your second house. If you have Capricorn in your second house, a few ways that you guys can bring through abundance and make money is going to be through Capricorn-like things. First of all, you guys are going to have to work really hard to get to your goals and to achieve what it is that you guys are building. That's the thing. Capricorn's building something. You're climbing to the top of that mountain. So anytime you guys are engaging in this, you're going to be attracting more of that abundance to you guys. A few ways that you guys can make money can be through business. It can be through working maybe corporate, climbing that corporate ladder, working with people of status. That's the thing, also the Capricorn energy. It could be things like maybe being a lawyer for people who are in high level positions. I'm seeing that girl who did the Johnny Depp case. Camille, I think was her name. Anyways, it can be things like this, very much Capricorn in the second house type of energy, where it's like you're working for people of status, because Capricorn wants that status. So it's either like you yourself are of status because you work to get there, or you're working for people who are of status, because it's like the end goal is for you to get there as well. So it's like maybe you're in the circles because you're building your way there. But that's the thing with that Capricorn energy. You guys will really, really know the value of hard work when you have Capricorn in the second house. You guys will also be really good with things like investments, taking your money, keeping your money, saving your money. You guys are going to be really good with money when you have Capricorn in the second house, because again, it doesn't come easy to you guys. That's the thing, that Capricorn energy really, really has to work hard for something. Now, obviously depends on the rest of your natal chart, but it's going to be overall in this field. It can be corporate, it can be business, it can be your own business. Again, depending on the rest of your natal chart, it can even be things like you're a personal trainer for someone who's in a high level position. So these are a few ways that you can make money if you have Capricorn in the second house. If you have Aquarius in your second house, a few ways that you guys can make money. It can go on a huge range. Aquarius does deal with the futuristic ideas, those innovative ideas. So it can be different ways of bringing through abundance and bringing through money. It might not be a conventional way. It might not be something like your whole family was a lawyer. You might not be interested in being a lawyer. You're going to find another way to do it. It could be things like being a scientist, maybe making an invention of some sort. It can also be things like building apps, working in tech, working in technology. That's very much that Aquarian energy. Sometimes notice that the Aquarian energy can also deal with the fashion industry, because they're very much about that fashion forward energy, thinking about what the future trends are, these types of things. Now, speaking of trends, you guys can also be very good at maybe predicting things in terms of like business models. That's interesting that that's coming through as well, because again, you guys can see things ahead. It's that psychic energy that you guys do have, but it's very practical in that sense, where it's like you guys can look at a company and you guys can be like, oh, hey, you know, this was happening before. I think you guys are going to go in this direction. Or maybe we should do this new thing, or maybe we can try out this new advertisement, whatever it is, like these types of things where it's like, it's very eccentric, it's different. Now, also what's interesting with this energy as well is you guys are going to be very creative when it comes to making money. So you guys might do things like, and it's interesting that I'm seeing this, things like being a street artist, a street musician, things like, you know, maybe creating like little arts and crafts and selling those on the street. It could be things like this as well, where it's like, again, you guys are always going to find ways of making money. It can be unconventional. It can be conventional, but even if you are in like a conventional environment, you're still going to be the one who has the ideas. It's going to be the person who's outside of the box, who's kind of like, no, this is what's going to be really popular. This is what this new generation likes. This is how we should make the advertisement. So it really depends to see on the rest of your natal chart to see how this manifests. But regardless, the ideas for you guys are going to be endless to bring through the money. And one more thing that I also want to mention, you guys can also make money through the internet. This is very much Aquarian-like. So it can be things like having your own business, your own online business, these types of things. So these are a few ways that this energy can manifest if you have Aquarius in the second house. If you have Pisces in the second house, a few ways that you guys can make money can actually be a lot of ways. Pisces spans a whole lot of things. You guys are going to have a lot of wisdom. You guys are probably going to be super intuitive. You guys are probably going to be super creative. So you guys can be an artist. You guys might be interested even in working with music. That's very Piscean-like. You guys are all about the romance and the grand things. So you guys can be interested in things like screenwriting or even acting. Very much Piscean-like. You guys are taking those dreams and the romanticizations of things, and maybe you're portraying them on a screen. It really depends on the rest of your natal chart. You guys can be good at even writing romance. It could be songs. It could be books, like those really, really intense stories, like The Notebook, like very Piscean, where it's like there's this huge dream. So how it manifests is going to really depend on the rest of your natal chart. Now, a few other ways that you guys can make money can be through metaphysical things. It can be through your psychic gifts. It can be through your intuition. Maybe this is how you guys bring through that abundance. It can even be through art. Maybe you guys make things like psychic art. You got a certain vision and then you guys paint it. Things like this. The possibilities are really endless with this energy, because that's the thing, it's very much going with the flow. A lot of the time I find that Piscean energy to be very expansive. So you might have a team that works with you guys, kind of like musicians. You know how they have a team that works with them. This person does this thing, that person does that thing. So that could be a way that this energy manifests. And because you guys are so go with the flow, you guys might stumble into your opportunities. It could be very much like Forrest Gump in that way, where it's like you weren't expecting to get a job and you stumbled into one and you're like, hey, now I love this job. And it's like when that one ended, you got pulled into this way, like very Piscean, like go with the flow types of vibes. So these are a few ways that this energy can manifest if you do have Pisces in the second house. I do hope that you guys did enjoy my video on a few ways that you can make money based on your second house. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the day.